President of the Republic of Zambia,
On 28th October 2014, Zambia lost its Republican President, Michael Chilufya-Sata. The aftermath of President Sata's death led to a period of political uncertainty. Edgar Lungu was expected to be President Sata's successor since he held the state instrument of power.
I promise you to take Zambia to the next level. I promise you to take Zambia to the next level.
You all know me and all the aspirants in the race.
However, the road to the summit of the Patriotic Front PF and that of State House was not easy for President Lungu. He was opposed by many individuals, both in the ruling Patriotic Front and the opposition political parties, but he prevailed. Against all odds and challenges, Edgar Chagwa Lungu was sworn in on January 15, 2015, and on the 15th of August 2016, President Lungu was re-elected for a full 5-year term with Mama Inonge Wina as his running mate and Republican Vice President.
I, Edgar Chagwa Lungu, having been constitutionally elected to the office of President of the Republic of Zambia.
After his inauguration of September 13, 2016, President Lungu reaffirmed the declaration of Zambia as a Christian nation. He promised to respect the Constitution and uphold the values, cultures, and dignity of every Zambian. Reduction of mini meal prices from 120 kwacha to 67 kwacha. Lending rates from 45% to 27%. Stabilization of the kwacha to the dollar from 14 kwacha to 8.9 kwacha. Inflation rates from 21% to 6%. Load shedding from 12 hours to 0 hours. Bumper harvest in 10 years at 3.8 million tons. In addition to this, President Lungu reaffirmed his commitment to take development to all parts of Zambia, including all the regions that did not vote for him. As a matter of faith, President Lungu put Christ at the center of his presidency with a pledge to reduce poverty significantly and uplift the lives of every Zambian in line with the PF's pro-poor policies and his own personal convictions.
He wants to live among the people. He works very hard to try and make sure that the presidency does not change him, but rather that he changes the presidency. So with that character, basically defining who he is, he wants to go about his life as an ordinary person. He was touring the stands in the showgrounds, and one child ran over to him to try and wave at him. And along with that child, the minders for the children, I suppose the mother and other people were trying to move towards. Obviously the security cordon moved and stopped, but he was able to see and say, bring that child.
My daughter, she has never been attending showgrounds. She just heard of it. I told her that there is a showground, it comes on August. She said, Mommy, I want to go there. I want to go and see what is there in showgrounds. We wanted to go and see these people for Go TV, they were dancing. And then my daughter said, Mommy, I heard that there is a president. I want to see the president. So I was like, you want to see the president? In my heart, I was like, wow. You seeing the president, it's not easy people seeing the president. You want to see the president. And then I was like, okay, wait for him here, he'll pass. We stood there and then the president went out, he came out. And then it was like, wow, look this girl. And then he took my daughter and hugged the baby. And then it was like, this baby, who is the mother of this baby? I was like, it's me. Oh, wow, this baby, she's beautiful. What's your name? He started asking her. She was like, I'm Chisomo. Chisomo, do you go to school? She said, no. And then she said, he asked him, why you don't go to school? He said, I don't know. Then the president came to me and said, are you the mother to Chisomo? I said, yes. Why is she not going to school? She said she doesn't know. I said, no, she doesn't have money. He said, she doesn't have money. Okay. And then he called Mr. I forgot his name. And then he said, give them the numbers. And then we took his numbers. And then they took our numbers. Then they told me, come to State House. And then we went there. I talked to them. They allowed me to enter to the State House, to the offices. Then they told me that, how much do you need for the school stuff? And then I said, I don't know. And then she said, okay, it's fine. You should wait down there by the waiting room. And then I wait. After some minutes, then they called me, said, you should come now. And then I went there. They just handed me, they gave me the money, said, you are welcome. And then I said, thank you very much. And then I was like emotional. I started crying. And then that lady, she said, no, sorry, don't cry.
Lungu zikomo kuli wa president pamene wanithandizira kuli mwana wanga. Naine niziwa kuti naine nizathandizika kuli kuchokera through kuli beve mkuthandiza mwana wanga. Lungu zikomo.
I'm excited, I'm so happy. Yeah, so I just thank the president for giving me such opportunity for my daughter to go to school. Yeah, I was not even thinking of like how she would go to school again. But by the grace of God, came through the president to come and help us.
Teresa Tembo and her daughter are just one of many stories that can be told about the softer side of President Lungu. Reduction of mini meal prices from 120 kwacha to 67 kwacha. Lending rates from 45% to 27%. Stabilization of the kwacha to the dollar from 14 kwacha to 8.9 kwacha. Inflation rates from 21% to 6%. Load shedding from 12 hours to 0 hours. Bumper harvest in 10 years at 3.8 million tons.
I was on probation for 1 year, 6 months, and I think I've done very well. Those who didn't know me, now they know me.
As party president, Edgar Lungu embarked on a mission to unite and strengthen both his ruling party and the country at large in order to foster national unity and development. He exhibited this by appointing his opponents and other challengers within the party who opposed his candidature and reached out to even the opposition political parties to join him in his effort to develop the country.
First and foremost, you will recall that as a party we were in
the opposition for 10 years under the leadership of Michael Chagwa. May he so rest in peace. And he ruled this country for 3 years. In 2015, he passed on. And President Edgar Lungu was elected by the General Conference in Chagwa. He was a party president and a candidate. And we went for a by-election which he won. And after that, we went for another elections in 2016. It means that President Lungu has gone through 2 elections up to 2016. But I want to say that PF as a party has been very democratic under the leadership of President Edgar Lungu, who has always allowed other views from other members of the party, including members of the Central Committee. When we have a Central Committee meeting, President Lungu allows all members of the Central Committee to speak their minds out, so that we'll be able to have decisions which are consensus. President Lungu doesn't impose on any decisions in the Central Committee, so he allows other divergent views.
PF, before elections, our campaign was based on the proper policies. In short, the majority of the members of our party, or Zambians, are poor. And those are the campaigns that we did. And when we came into power in 2011, under President Michael Sata, we implemented the same policies. So, and President Edgar Lungu has not departed on the same policies that we undertook in 2011. One of them is the presidential empowerment, which is still going on, to look at how we can alleviate poverty from the same members and the country at large.
The infrastructures, the things that he has done, the road, the schools. Obviously, anyone with a normal thinking, a normal person will just go straight for Edgar Chagwa Lungu.
He's an amazing leader. I think he's really concerned with the youth, especially with the education sector of it.
President Lungu's responsibilities extends beyond the party politics, and throughout his presidency, as head of state, he has constantly emphasized his belief in unity, diversity, regardless of political, regional, or tribal affiliation. The president has shown a passion to respect the traditions and cultures of all Zambians. He frequently attends traditional ceremonies and is seen to interact and mingle with both traditional leaders and their subjects. One such traditional ceremony the president has attended in the recent past is the Kuomboka traditional ceremony, where he graced the occasion as guest of honor at the invitation of the Litunga.
The incident in Mongo, as we have said clearly, was a police matter. We all saw what happened. Police reached a decision that they needed to act against acts of lawlessness, as we saw. We don't see it any more than an act of lawlessness. That, unfortunately, has a potential for serious repercussions if the two leaders, the head of state and the leader of the opposition, an injury was caused to either of them as a result of the reckless act of those people who were on the motorcade of the opposition did. What would be the situation in Zambia today? There would have been an explosion of violence, because one group would have understood that, for instance, the opposition leader was armed by the police and they started. If the president was injured, the full force of the state would move in to try and protect the life of the president. What would be the result of those who were on the opposition motorcade? So the Mongo incident remains a police case. They decided what they did. They took the matter to the police. And the police took the matter to court. We all saw what it ended. There was a conditional release through a notice prosecuted by the by the judge, and that's where we are. The president does not get involved in the day-to-day implementation of law and order by the police. He intervenes and gives a strategic direction, but the micromanagement of all cases is a matter for the police.
The fallout from the Lungu saga hurt Zambia's reputation as a beacon of peace and democracy.
No, I'm saying that's on both sides, yeah? But now that in itself, it was actually a sign of actually sort of spite onto the president. Yeah, they may be friends, but that action of spite, and I think the state machinery just came back and said, we'll show you who we are. And they took him and threw him in prison. But funny enough, if it was in the States, the USA, doing such a thing to a presidential motorcade, he could be shot.
Really?
Yeah, by the Secret Service. Yeah, that's the presidential motorcade. In the States, doing the same thing as he did.
You must just make way.
Yeah, in fact, when they tell you to make way, in fact, you know, even if the chap was your friend, used to drink together, but once he become a president, you know, you should actually respect the office of the president.
President Lungu's democratic tendencies and passion for the rule of law can be seen by his prompt endorsing of the amended constitution on January 5th, 2016.